Ka-Pow, the pop culture podcast, Patron Only content.
Hi, this is illustrious Michael K. Easton.
My name is Jordan Lowe.
I'm Cliff Barnes.
Seth. Tonight we're trying something new here.
An experiment?
Yeah. We'll do this just for the patrons. Try this out. We don't even know what we're going to call it yet. But instead of just our typical top 10, where we all have top 10s, or where we like to do things different ways. We get bored easily. So
we should.
And those
really...
top 10s can take like 6 hours sometimes, where we all have lists and we all debate.
We should really come up with like an actual list of like everything, every gimmick, every list, every
our top 10 gimmicks.
Yes.
Well, now you guys are excited. Now that's the one you want. So anyway, we're trying out this new format. We're gonna use this to make a list. The topic is threequels. Well, did you define that, Jordan? Did you? I saw you looked up a definition.
It was the third in a series of literary works, movies, etc.
Okay, we're sticking to movies for this one, but yeah, it's just the third one in a series, so that could be any of a bazillion movies. And I told these guys they don't really know how this works, but this is our practice, and they don't even care about threequels that much. I was told, but we'll find things to match people up. This is just going to be Cliff and Jordan competitively collaborating to make a list of the top 7 threequels. And they have to. I want you guys to be proud of this
7
list when you're done.
There's a lot of math already.
Yeah.
In this.
You let me worry about the math.
Okay.
But you should be trying to make what you consider the list of the best ones between the two of you. But you don't want to be saying what you're going to do. You say your pick for the position that comes up, and you count on down the list. You don't say, "Hey, I'm going to put this here and you put this here." None of that.
So how do I win?
Do I take notes?
You can. So anyway, we're going to. There's 2 different set of picks. One person gets picks 7, 6, 4, and 2, and one person gets picks 5, 3, and 1. So it depends what list you want. I'll ask you a trivia question here, and you will. Whoever gets it will decide which one they want. Who's going to answer first here? So let's see. Yeah, yell out the answer when if you know it.
He's got his clicker ready.
I have to think of a threequel branded lesson here.
While you're thinking about that, I just gotta say to like the exclusive patrons that I am like so sorry that the shape of my video screen is not as wide as the other 3, but I have fallen in love with this size, the shape, this box. Like I just love it so much that I'm going to be like this the whole entire time.
Okay. So you're in the Snyderverse.
That's right, baby.
You even dyed your hair green.
All right, so let's get to it. The in Mission Impossible 3, Tom Cruise and Philip Seymour Hoffman are chasing after the MacGuffin known as what?
The knock list. That's one.
Never saw it.
Yeah.
The Book of Scientology.
Nope. All right. So you guys failed at that. Let's try another one.
We hate movies.
Yeah.
This for Cliff and Jordan?
Yes. You can answer now, Michael, if you want. Do you have an answer?
They're both after
Okay, thanks.
He was
thanks
really
for jumping
antsy.
in.
He was
He's
really
like,
antsy
hey,
to
can
jump
I
in there.
answer? Can I answer? I don't know. Okay, so name a cameo
Word
that
up.
Bruce Campbell has done
A cameo
name
that
that.
Bruce.
in a Sam Raimi movie.
He was the doorman in Spider-Man.
He's in all the Spider-Mans. Yeah.
No, he was the Was he the? I don't know.
Yeah,
Don't ask me about Spider-Man and don't ask me about Tom Cruise.
you close enough, Cliff. I think it's the maitre d' in Spider-Man 3.
Okay.
It was the announcer that actually
He's the
named
wrestling.
Spider-Man.
Yeah, the wrestling announcer.
Okay, yeah. I was on the right track.
This is patron content. This is loose.
This,
Hold on.
yeah, definitely.
Lucy goes say.
He's leaving.
Or it's getting hot in here. Okay, so Cliff,
Yeah.
you get to pick. Which list do you want? 7, 6, 4, and 2, or 5, 3, and 1?
The
What
one
piece
for
you
number
want?
one.
How attached are you to making sure that something?
Yeah, I
something
want number
gets
one.
to number one.
I want
You
number one.
one.
Yeah.
Okay, so Cliff, I'll write that down here. And Jordan. Now here's how it works. Jordan,
What am I? 6, 4, 3, 2, and 7.
no, 7, 6, 4, 2.
4, 2.
Now Jordan will get to go take the first 2 turns. Now
Yep.
you two each have a veto. And the way the veto works, like if Jordan, gives a movie that you don't want in that position or you don't want there at all, you can veto it, Cliff. Now you only get one. Now that does not get rid of that movie.
Mm-hmm.
It means that Jordan has to pick a new movie for that position, but he could put it higher on the list, or you could put it higher on the list. Maybe you think he named something you wanted as your number one. And you're saying, no, I veto that, and you put it on there later.
What about the ping pong balls?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a different thing. Anyway,
So do I start at 7? Do I start at 2? Do I start wherever I want to?
7.
At the bottom.
We're counting down to the best.
Well, that would technically be counting up.
How?
No.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. You're making this more difficult than it is.
Let's make this.
You're
You're
trying.
right.
You're
You're
trying.
right.
To act like
I'm
it's-
throwing a wrench into the works. I'm
You guys are
stress testing.
desperate. You guys are desperate to strength test this
Right.
bubble.
I am stress testing the rules and regulations
Yeah.
now, so when it counts later,
Right.
we'll have all the kinks worked out.
I got you.
We will break it.
Now
I
you
came
now,
up.
I was going to say that there's something else about that when you think about it. You may veto something and think you might not be able to get rid of it. Oh no, if I veto here, he may put it higher, but it's quite likely they will not put it higher because they've already got a list in front of them that there's things that they want higher than that, or they would have said those other movies, so usually you can be pretty successful vetoing someone, I think, but it'll be different each time we do one of these. But so we'll see what kind of strategies you guys come up with here. But again, you're working together to make a good list, but you want your stuff on the list, and where you want it. So another thing I'll say, once you make a pick, you can't say, you make your official pick, okay, and someone can talk you out of it. You could get talked out of it, but you can't just change it on the spot without using your veto once you have made your official pick. So we're not just going to talk people out of their official picks without somebody using a veto. Make sense? Got it. Jordan, with your 7th pick. Now go ahead. You were going to riff.
Wow. The pressure is on here.
Yeah.
There's not a lot.
There's only that's what I mean. I told you guys make top 10. So now you've got all these picks, and there's just a few spots.
So I came up with a top 10, and then I had a few more that were good enough that could have been somewhere in the top 10. So I really have kind of a top 15. So I'm really gonna have to cut the bottom half of this off.
Mm-hmm.
So do I just start with my number 7 here? Maybe I'll just do that. I'm going to go with The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly from 1966.
The good. The bad. The ugly.
His official pick in 7th place.
This is Clint Eastwood, the famous Man with No Name trilogy.
Yeah.
Director Sergio Leone.
This is the one they put the money into.
The gray. The Civil War.
Right. So the first two, Fistful of Dollars, and then for a few dollars more, they're good. I like them. But this one is like a 3-hour epic. Got co-starring Eli Wallach and Lee Van Cleef. Got some of the most famous music in any movie ever.
Mm-hmm.
Very iconic imagery of the very close-ups of the holster, then a close-up of the eyes.
The good. The bad. The ugly. The questions.
Quick cuts back and forth. Like, it kind of like, for a lot of people, when you think Western, like, this is the kind of the movie you think of. So I'm going to go with that.
Okay. Yeah, actually, I saw this on the top of a few of these lists online. People picked this one as the best. So
You a fan of that, Cliff?
I mean, not a huge fan. My dad always liked them. I remember him watching them a lot. So, like, I'm familiar with it. It's, they're definitely a classic. The spaghetti westerns.
Have you ever actually watched it from beginning to end?
Mm-hmm. Not in many, many, many years, but yeah. So, and of course,
I literally just watched it last week. I watched the first half on Monday night, and I went back Wednesday night to finish it, and Prime had taken it off. It wasn't on Prime anymore. So I had to find it somewhere else, but I ended up watching the whole thing.
Cool. So, no, you're fine with that?
Yeah, we're moving on.
All right. That's 7th place. Jordan, get your number 6.
Oh, I got to do 2 in a row?
You get to do 2 in a row.
I was just catching my breath.
This part, with that set of picks, you get to get some flavor in there. The ones you wanted to get on there, but you don't have to feel dumb putting them number 1 or 2. Yeah,
I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to use my number. This is number 5 on my list because I don't think it would ever make it in the top, because the only other pick I get is 4 or 2, and it would definitely not make it there. So I'm going to try and squeeze it in at the bottom of this list. Escape from the Planet of the Apes, 1971.
This is Dr. Zira, her loving husband Cornelius, and little Milo. The most dangerous to man is little Milo. Why? The time is 1973. The place is right here on Earth. How did they get here? What is their reception?
Welcome, gentlemen, to the United States.
Escape from the Planet of the Apes. Their adventures are completely fresh, completely new, astonishingly different from what you experienced in Planet of the Apes and Beneath the Planet of the Apes. At first, feared and imprisoned.
We'll take the female first.
Did my dad write your list? Because oh my
Mr.
God.
Analog.
Yes, the whole every one of those damn Dirty Ape movies from the 70s. My dad loved them, and we used to tease him about watching them all the time. So I have seen a ton of them. Many of them numerous times. But yeah, so
you're fine with that?
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Well, let's hear why. Why is this so good?
I gotta say, one, the original is one of my favorites of all time, easily in my top 10, my expansive top 10. 2 is terrible. 2 is hard to watch, even if you're a fan. That is the one with the underground mutants who worship an atomic bomb. Some other astronaut who kind of looks like Charlton Heston shows up. It's just, It's not good. So then 3 comes along, you think, is this even worse? And then, when you get to 4 and 5, it becomes crazier and it's bigger. It's the the Conquest of the Planet of the Apes, Battle for the Planet of the Apes. It's much bigger scale. This one's pretty small scale. It brings back Roddy McDowall and Kim Hunter as Cornelius and Zira, and so in 2, they blow up the world with his atomic bomb. So in 3, they reveal these 2 apes escaped in a spaceship and made it back to modern day Earth, like the 70s. So the first
I was just gonna ask which one that was, because that's the one I remember the most.
Because it's weird. The first half is almost like a comedy, like a fish out of water. Zira, somebody offers her wine. It's like, this is grape juice. This is delicious. And like she gets drunk at a party. And like it's weird. And by the
monkey
end,
drunk, monkey funny.
But by the end it gets super, super dark. And it's like the fate of the world in the future, and humans can't be trusted, and Ricardo Montalban is awesome. And so it takes a real turn from real goofy at the beginning to like killing children at the end. So it's a little bit of a whiplash, but it has such a charm to it, that kind of 70s era, that I love it.
Those movies I always thought would have been really fun to go to the drive-through and watch.
The drive-through.
Drive-through.
That would be cool. Give me
Order
a
Mickey
shake
D's.
and some Planet of the Apes.
Yeah,
Thank
like
you,
that's an American experience right there. Come on, we're gonna pile into the station wagon. We're going to the drive-through to watch Planet of the Apes.
Oh, drive in.
Well, whatever. You can drive. You could just do laps as the movie plays.
I've never seen that. I'm sure I'm not even positive I've seen all of the first one.
Wow.
So I know.
Yeah.
Wasn't
I don't know
thing.
what's the third one called again?
Escape from the
Escape.
Planet.
Okay. I don't know why that one like stuck with me, because I felt like they were always on TV or something. But
They were.
I just remember that one because of the actress that plays the female. Like, she had very endearing qualities, and I remember her like trying to understand humanity. If I'm correct in that, and like she just like, to me, again, I guess it sticks out to me because I thought it was very good acting on her part because of the makeup and stuff, and it just, her emotions, I guess, stuck with me. But wasn't there like a child involved in that one with
to give the plot away? She's pregnant.
It's okay.
And
yeah.
The government doesn't want a smart ape baby because they don't want to become the Planet of the Apes in the future. So they have to go on the run.
I literally just saw Tucker Carlson talking about this.
Apes will not replace us, but
yeah,
that's always been my stance.
I don't know. I just saw Elon Musk post a video of, I think it was a monkey playing a video game through the Neuralink chip.
As long as he doesn't have a flamethrower.
We need to cut to that immediately, because that's more interesting than this podcast.
Wow.
So yeah, I feel like that's a very Ka-Pow pick. Monkeys,
so it's
and
a certain demographic, yes,
yeah.
of Ka-Pow.
How many? What were the later ones, Jordan? You had you had like
Conquest.
Battle, Conquest, Battle,
Planet of the Apes, Beneath the Planet of the Apes.
Yes. Okay.
Escape from the Planet of the Apes.
Yep.
Battle for the Planet of the Apes, and Conquest of the Planet of the Apes.
Which one's the best?
One, obviously, but the best sequel is 3.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Okay.
The first one is
I'm
definitely
not
the
saying
best.
3's a great piece of cinema.
No.
Like, 1, I think, is a great
It's just
film.
a list of the best.
Yeah.
List
3
of the
Yeah.
best threequels of all time.
I just love watching 3. I wouldn't call it a masterpiece of film.
Right.
Masterpiece theater.
All right. We go to Cliff.
Okay.
Gets to make his first appearance on the list here at position 5. So
Now I have what picks? 5, 3,
5, 3, and 1.
3 and 1. Okay. So
But you can make 4 picks if you veto yourself.
Yeah. Just to get it on there.
Don't be nice to each other. Come on. If you don't want something on this list that they say, and you want to hope that they'll pick something you like.
Yeah. Well, I only have 3 picks, and I got a feeling Jordan, I can kind of bank on maybe a couple of those picks that he's going to say the same thing in there.
I hope you guys just freaking crap your pants here in a minute when you screw each other up.
Unless your pick is Trimmers 3 Back to Perfection, we're going to have a problem.
That's going to be great when it doesn't work out the way you want.
Yeah, that's very possible. But no, I'm going to start out with a very popular third in the series of Toy Story 3.
Watch out! No. Just keep playing. Just pretend I'm not here. Does the red light mean it's going?
I've been cold, I've been hungry, now for a while. I guess most of my dreams have come true. With it all,
Andy's going to college. Can you believe it? Mom, I'm not leaving till Friday.
I
What are you going to do with these old toys?
'cause I never get over losing you. No, I'll never get over losing you.
Don't you get it? We're finished. Obsolete. Over the hill.
Now, come on, guys. We all knew this day was coming.
We're getting thrown away.
No one's getting thrown away.
We ain't ever getting played with.
Hold on. This is no time to be hysterical.
It's the perfect time to be hysterical.
Should we be hysterical?
Now. Yes. Maybe, but not right now.
Come on, let's see how much we're going for on eBay.
New toys!
I'm going to get played with. Where's my nose?
There it is.
Here's your arm.
Toy Story 3.
Toy Story 3. This
I want to pull the veto trigger, but I'm not going to. People love that movie.
This was they're all huge hits, but this really, it probably should have been the end of the series.
Yes.
The next movie was fine. We've reviewed it. We've talked about it. But man, this one here just really, this is the pull those heartstrings movie. Classic scenes of, the story's fine with the daycare and all that. It starts out kind of fun, but like Jordan said with the other movie, it's really kind of dark through the whole thing. Like we've moved on. Andy's going to college. He doesn't play with the toys anymore. So what's going to happen to these characters we've watched for 20 years now, and that, I tell you, that trash compactor scene at the end, if that doesn't get you, man, that's on you. That's for sure. And then they double up on it, completely double up on it at the very end, when Andy gives his toys away and passes them on, and oh my God, so sad.
Not a dry eye in the theater.
That's for sure. The toys were holding hands, guys.
That's what I said to the police when they came. The toys were holding hands. They drug me away. Yeah. It's going to be hard for anyone to argue with that one. That's a very popular 3. One of a fine, probably the best in the series, and it happens to be in the third slot there. So, all right, so that's number 5.
We threw it out to the patrons, and that one was mentioned by Jared Lowe as well. So it had a patron vouch for it too. So
excellent. All right, Jordan, back over to you with.
Okay, so I've only got
a couple, yeah.
I've only got 2 picks left, and I've got 2 Marvel movies in my top 5, which I don't think Cliff will go for, being a DC guy. So I might have to throw my number 1 in here at 4.
Wow, just give it to him. Let him have his high picks. You have your number 1 at 4. I'm just trying to egg stuff on.
Yeah, I know. So I've only got 2 picks. Wow, because if Cliff has 2 picks left,
he's thinking out loud,
and I know what 2 of them would be or could be, but they could also be Michael's 2 picks.
Right.
So do I make him use his pick for a movie we both want?
That's
right?
That's the crux of it.
That's the strategy.
Who is going to pick your movie for you? And what happens when they had something else in mind and it doesn't? It isn't on there.
I got to go with Avengers: Infinity War.
The entire time I knew him, he only ever had one goal. To wipe out half the universe. If he gets all the Infinity Stones, he can do it with the snap of his fingers. Just like that.
Tell me his name again.
Thanos.
We got one advantage. He's coming to us. We have what Thanos wants, so that's what we'll use.
Let's talk about this plan of yours. I think it's good, except it sucks. So let me do the plan, and that way it might be really good.
Wow.
The end is near. When I'm done, half of humanity will still exist.
That's my number one. Like, I can't help it. I know I'm a fanboy, and these movies are very recent. They're the most popular things on the planet. It's the most mainstream pick available. But I love the Marvel movies. I love the Avengers movies. And Infinity War just did everything great. And it blew, Endgame, blew the doors off. But Infinity War, I think, is a better, perhaps even a better movie just as a standalone piece. So, yeah, Anthony and Joe Russo in 2018, Avengers: Infinity War, kind of the peak of the Marvel universe in this phase 1 or what is tech, whatever phase it is, but it's chapter 1 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
You know what's
exciting.
Weird? That is probably the least watched for me of the Marvel movie. Like, what, if I'm just sitting there like, I'm gonna watch something. You're on Disney Plus. This ain't gonna be one of them for me.
Would never pick it.
Like, I'll watch Endgame every now and again, or just maybe the last hour of Endgame once in a while. But yeah, I might even I'm a little surprised. I thought you were gonna pick Civil War.
That was my other one. Captain America: Civil War would have been my other Marvel third movie.
Yeah. I saw this one on a ton of lists too, which I totally get, and I like it. I think it was a really good movie. And it set up everything else on it. I thought Michael blipped out there for a minute. We were talking about Infinity War. But yeah.
So what do you think, Cliff?
Well, I'm not surprised. That's what I think. I'm not a bit surprised. I had it written down too. I actually also had Civil War written down. I had Civil War a little higher than this movie, but I get the reasoning behind it. I get why people, everybody likes it. Everybody loves this movie. It was a huge, gigantic hit until, we didn't know what was coming with Endgame exactly. So I don't know.
Sounds to me like you've drug enough information out of him that maybe you could pull a switcheroo on him.
Is this, what number pick was this?
4.
4.
It just looks like Ann B. Davis is sweating it out over there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
if he vetoes, I put another pick in.
You get to put something else at 4.
Yeah.
And he's drugged the information out of you that the pick he would prefer is possibly what you would pick.
Right.
Which would be a sweet way to use your veto.
Or do I want?
Despite him, I would never pick it.
Exactly. You can totally and then you would immediately be able to put in whatever you wanted. And it could totally make him mad. But this is also your list.
Yeah,
and you want to make it a good one.
I think I'm going to save that veto for number 2.
Wow, he really wants to tear your heart out.
I've got a couple. I've got 3 movies left here that I think really should be on this list. But I don't have the picks to put them all on there. So I think we're going to save it to number 2. So
I won't forget that, Cliff.
Wow. Yep, you guys know how to build the excitement. I love this pick. Infinity War, I remember going to see in IMAX there. Michael, you went. Yeah, you drove. And
I was just saying, I went. I drove.
I did.
And you
give you credit for
piloting
the vehicle.
And he went through the drive-through.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll never forget it. Yeah, but anyway, it was great. I loved it, and afterwards I kind of felt I really loved Endgame more. It was just an even greater experience. But since then, I went back a few months ago and watched them back to back one night. I just wasn't feeling great. I was like, what would make me feel great? I was like, I'm going to watch this double feature. And it was fantastic. Infinity War really shines when it is part of a complete story there, when you get that finished product, especially. But I love that movie. It is one of the best Marvel movies. So
yeah.
I'm glad to see it on there.
We got such a payoff with Endgame, but yet I was just watching. I was sitting at home watching Falcon and the Winter Soldier tonight, and still in all these shows, all of the like WandaVision, it's all the storylines are driven from what happened in Infinity War. So yeah. I appreciate it more and more as other things come out. So anyway,
yeah, I agree. All right, so Cliff,
it's
time for you.
Number 3.
The number 3 on the list here.
So number 3 is absolutely has to be Return of the Jedi.
Return to a galaxy far, far away.
Ready, everybody? Chewie, see what this piece of junk can do.
Here we go again. You will bring Captain Solo and the Wookiee to me.
Return to heroic adventure.
You don't know the power of the dark side.
Return to the ultimate confrontation.
Freeze! Don't move!
Oh dear.
I love you.
I know.
Return for the climactic chapter of the Star Wars saga.
Exciting is hardly the word I would choose.
But most of all, return for the fun of it. Return of the Jedi.
Ooh.
Number 3. Wow.
Wow, that's a shocking pick. Honestly, to me.
Yeah.
At number 3.
The OT original trilogy guys. We were kids. We waited a long time to see those fuzzy little Ewoks come about and save the day.
And you guys, this is you and Jordan's Star Wars. Like you guys were a little younger than me, so where I was like, okay, Star Wars is great, but Empire Strikes Back was I was at the right age for that. You guys are a little younger, so Return of the Jedi was the
that was
sweet
definitely
spot for you.
Yeah, that was definitely my jam at like 4 years old. Perfect age.
I can remember my dad taking me to see that one.
Yeah.
So
That's
great.
I mean, it has to be on the list. It's really high for me, but yeah, that's. I mean, it's the mother of all threequels.
Is it at number 3?
I mean, I think it may not. What I mean is, it may not be the best, but I mean, it's definitely the one that popularized the trilogy, right? In American cinema.
Okay. I'll follow
that. I was young enough that I didn't really view this and a couple other things we might mention later. I didn't really view as separate movies. Star Wars was just one thing. There was 3 movies long, and I loved all of it. Like, I didn't judge one better than the other as a kid. It's just whichever one was on, I was loving it. So, yeah, I did not have those boo Ewok feelings that a lot of people older than me maybe did. So I love it every bit as much as the first 2, despite looking back at it, some of the flaws and stuff that people don't like. Whatever, it doesn't bother me at all. So yeah, it was number 2 on my list. It was hard for me to maybe have Avengers ahead of it, but so it's a very close number 2.
Wow, this is exciting because I feel like Jordan is in the catbird seat here.
No, I don't feel great.
He don't have something. It sounds like he doesn't have something for this.
I only have one more movie.
Yeah.
That's better than any of those.
Yeah. And okay, well.
And so that leaves Cliff to just pick whatever the heck he wants for number 1.
So you can pick whatever the hell you want.
Mm-hmm.
I'll count us down to what we're at so far while you think about what you're going to do. We got at number 7, Jordan picked The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Number 6, he was able to slip in Escape from the Planet of the Apes. Cliff came in with a classic Toy Story 3. Definitely needed to be on here. At 4, Marvel's Infinity War. Excellent. Number 3, and surprise, low pick, I think. Return of the Jedi. I could have seen this easily being number 1 for you two making this list. So, and I can only predict one more movie, that I think is going to be on here.
I could veto that and make Cliff pick a different number 3. Then I could take Star Wars at number 2.
You could.
Mm-hmm.
You definitely could. Or you could pick whatever you want.
Yeah. Well, there's one more movie that has to be on the list.
Right.
But yeah, I don't see anything else I'd pick above it. So I'm going to go number 2, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
There it is.
We're about to complete a great quest, the Holy Grail, Dr. Jones.
Oh, rats.
This is it. Look, the shield is the second marker. We found it.
Indiana Jones is on the quest of a lifetime. But for some adventures, one Jones is not enough.
Dad? Junior? Don't call me that, please. Follow me! I know the way!
A race across 3 continents.
And in this sort of race, there's no silver medal for finishing second.
Hang on, Dad, we're going in!
Into the homeland of the enemy.
Nazis. I hate these guys.
Our situation has not improved.
In his search for the Holy Grail.
How dare you kiss me?
Are you crazy? Don't go between them!
Go between them, are you crazy?
Where's my father?
In the belly of that steel beast. Dad! Junior! You call this archaeology?
The quest for the Grail is not archaeology.
It's a race against evil.
Germany has declared war on the Jones boys.
Those people are trying to kill us. I know, Dad! It's a new experience for me.
Happens to me all the time.
Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Have the adventure of your life. Keeping up with the Joneses.
Giving Cliff carte blanche to decide the numero uno.
I love it.
And Cliff still has a veto also, so let's not forget.
I do.
So tell us about The Last Crusade.
Well, this was kind of unanimous from the patrons, those who answered the call. Justin said, with no thought or research, The Last Crusade. Jared agreed. He threw out a few other ones. And then even Jesse forsook Back to the Future.
Wow.
3 to say Last Crusade is my vote.
He's not chicken.
Back to the Future is his favorite trilogy. He's saying Last Crusade is his favorite threequel.
Yeah,
we've talked about it a bunch. It's and this is the other movie to me. Those three, people. Temple of Doom was boring. Like to me as a kid, they were all the same. It was one movie that was three movies long, and I didn't notice a dip in quality between any.
Childhood was weird. Anybody want ice cream? Yeah, what kind you want? Who gives a shit?
It's all ice cream.
It's ice cream.
Freaking ice cream.
And that's what it is. Indiana Jones is ice cream. Do you want chocolate, vanilla, strawberry? It doesn't matter. It's all ice cream.
Yeah.
And 3, we talked about bringing in Sean Connery as his father, just upped the comedy and the drama, the father-son relationship kind of stuff, and it's a great threequel, bringing back in the Nazi stuff and some of the lore from the film series, but it's also just a great standalone movie adventure. The tank chase and the airplane battles, like just action after action, hilarious comedy. It's one of the best movies of all time.
Yeah,
let alone best threequel.
I've talked about before. I love Indiana Jones. Temple of Doom was the one we had that I watched over and over and over. So I never understood the opinion that Temple of Doom is bad. I love that movie. I always love Raiders. And then this one came out in 89. And I remember going to the theater and I was like, how does Indiana Jones get better every time a new movie comes out? At least, to that point.
Yeah, I agree. When I saw Temple of Doom, I'd never even heard of Indiana Jones. I was at a friend's house. His parents were down their basement movie room starting Temple of Doom, and I sat down and was just mesmerized. I remember sitting there in the dark with the big screen TV shining down on my face like, it was just so exactly what I wanted, that adventure, and I just loved it. And then when I saw Last Crusade, a little older and, and that, I just think Last Crusade is the best of those movies. And, it's one of my favorite movies ever. I love that movie.
Yeah. And it's so fun. It's funny. Yeah. It's almost
Sean Connery and him are so good playing off each other.
It's a buddy cop movie. But
plus all the stuff at the end, going into there to get the Grail and everything is just some of the best stuff, adventure things ever.
Yeah. So sorry to let everybody down.
It's number 2.
I'm not going to use the veto.
You both have vetoes. Either one of you can veto and fix this.
Yeah, I'm not going to veto that.
Jordan can fix this right now.
That was my pick.
You can veto it and make him pick it at number 1. I'm just egging you on. I just want to know, are you guys both are choosing now that it's not the best threequel? You're on your final list. It's not going to be the best one.
It is not the best one.
And if whatever you
do, you in your heart of hearts think that, Cliff?
Yes.
Your number 1 pick is better.
Yes. So just and what my little commentary here is, Jordan does not know what Cliff's going to say.
Yes,
Cliff,
I do.
Oh, okay. Cliff is 100% is behind what he picks. So I hope he knows that Jordan can veto it,
I
does he
realize
have
this.
Another pick that's also better than Last Crusade?
Well,
Yeah.
I can.
We
Let
shall
me just
see.
say, if you know, if that happens, I'm probably going to sink the whole damn thing with what I pick.
So it's exciting. So
it's Porky's 3. I know.
So actually, I do my number one from my original list. The first one I wrote out before I looked at anything. It's still open. Nobody picked it. Jordan didn't pick it. I didn't think he would.
Yeah.
But guys, come on. Number one, the best third movie made. National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Oh, duh.
Duh.
'Tis the season to be jolly, fa la 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 la. After vacationing across America and throughout Europe, take it, Russ. This holiday season, the Griswolds are going to play it safe.
Clark, we're stuck under a truck.
They're staying at home. I give you the Griswold family Christmas tree.
Hope you're not getting sap all over your sweater, Clark.
All Clark wants is a quiet, old-fashioned Christmas. Sorry. Got a little knot here. You can work on that. What he's going to get is the gift that keeps on living. Merry Christmas. His family. We didn't come to impose.
Oh, hell, there's plenty of room.
Do you sleep with your brother? Do you know how sick and twisted that is, Mom? Well, I'm sleeping with your father.
Have you got a kiss for me?
You better take a rain check on that, Art. He's got lip fungus they ain't identified yet.
But no holiday could ever be more deeply touching.
We were gonna call, but Eddie wanted to make it a surprise.
If I woke up tomorrow with my head sewn to the carpet, I wouldn't be more surprised than I am right now.
We're really gonna fly down the hill with this stuff.
So genuinely moving.
Can I refill your eggnog for you? Drive you out to the middle of nowhere? Leave you for dead?
More truly uplifting.
Can I show you something?
I was just browsing.
Or more down to earth.
Merry Christmas!
If Santa is smart, he'll stay well clear of this joint. It's a death trap.
Than Christmas with the Griswolds.
Everybody come on, quick, look at the lights!
They want you to say grace.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America.
This year, let Chevy Chase light up your holidays. National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
That thing had 9 lives. She just spent them all.
You woo, crank up.
It's my all-time favorite movie. I've watched it 1,000 times. I know every line, every scene by heart. And I would just be kidding myself if I picked anything else.
Wow.
It is not my favorite movie. But there's nothing. I get its place in history, that it's the most popular of the Vacation franchise for sure. Holiday favorite, yearly tradition. People quote it for a month straight on social media.
A month? That's an all year round quote, baby.
So I get its place. It's a very valid place on this list. I would never have put it at number one.
But you're not me. And I had number one.
Wow. Well, I'll say I think the pick is possibly the only justifiable thing that you could have put in the same ballpark as Last Crusade.
Right.
I love Christmas
Which is
Vacation.
why I'm not vetoing it, because any other choice doesn't work. So
I like to think I think you guys should, maybe not Cliff, but Jordan may sweat out here the next couple days thinking, how could I have played this to get that not number one? Like, but you possibly could have picked it at number two and forced him to put yours at number one. But looking at this list, assuming no one's vetoing anything, you guys both kept your vetoes because, as passionate as I will. I mean, I see some fretting in George's face. Like, as much as you guys wanted to act like you didn't care, I think you both did care a little making this list. And I, for one, think you came up with a very fine list.
It's a good list.
I'm impressed and happy with. I would be happy with this list. I didn't have to pick a damn thing. I was like, I don't need to be involved in this. I trust these guys to come up with a good list of threequels, and I think you did it. So let's count it down here again. 7, Good, Bad, and the Ugly. 6, Escape from the Planet of the Apes. 5, Toy Story 3. 4, Infinity War. 3, Return of the Jedi. 2, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. And number 1, Christmas Vacation. Excellent list. Now, I want to hear what were some of your other picks that were out there when you thought you were going to get this vast list you were going to get to do.
Did you have any, Michael? Did you have any saved in the chamber?
Yeah, I knew neither of you guys would bring it up, but Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors started its own trilogy from the 3rd through the. But anyway,
I saw that on several.
Michael,
I saw that one on several lists, so it's you're not the only one. People love that movie.
Would that have been your number 1 choice?
It would have been in my top 3.
Top 3. I was a little surprised that Jordan did not pick Army of Darkness.
It was my number 6.
Was it? Okay. We mentioned Back to the Future Part 3.
Well, so the problem is, like, the third movie is typically, like, it's historically the bad movie. Like, it does not have a great reputation. Like, these are usually the worst, especially in comic book history of, X-Men The Last Stand, Blade Trinity, Spider-Man 3 with Venom, The Matrix Revolutions, everyone hated. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, they went back in time. Like, so in our world, the 3 always used to be like where it hit a wall and went downhill. So to find this many good third movies is great.
Yeah, I mean, I know a couple things I thought of. Return of the King is I would assume on a lot of lists. It's, the third Lord of the Rings movie. None of us are super huge Lord of the Rings people, or it might have been on this list, but I still love that set of movies. And Logan is the third Wolverine movie, which is an awesome, awesome movie. Thor Ragnarok is...
Yeah, I had Thor Ragnarok. That's an interesting movie that when I first saw it, I remember being like, I should love this movie, but I don't love it. And however, the more I've watched it, the more I like it. Because that's a movie, like I was saying, I won't normally sit down and I'm going to watch Infinity War, but I'll sit down and watch Ragnarok all the time.
Blade 3, Trinity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was where I fell in love with Ryan
Reynolds.
The source of your facial hair for a year.
Ryan Reynolds.
That's a historically important movie.
Die Hard with a Vengeance.
Yep.
It's excellent. I almost asked you guys how many people were going to St. Ives. And a little different flavor, the Before Midnight from the Richard Linklater series is a good third movie. That whole trilogy is good. Mission Impossible 3, I know I brought up at the beginning. Mission Impossible 3 is a great movie. J.J. Abrams. It really is good.
What's that, Michael?
Bill and Ted Face the Music.
I still haven't seen that. I need to watch it. It's on HBO, I think.
You Star Trek guys. What about Search for Spock?
Thought about it, but
that's a good one.
Yeah, it was never.
That's where it gets weird. Like the Search for Spock is where it kind of deviates and gets weird.
Yeah, Christopher Lloyd's a Klingon, and it's weird. Nobody mentioned. Let's see here.
Tokyo Drift.
No, God no.
Dark Knight Rises.
No. Harry Potter and the Prisoner of.
Azkaban. That's a good movie.
Yeah, that's
a good movie.
As far as Harry Potter goes, that's probably my wife's favorite movie. So
yeah, that's one of the best. I think isn't that Alfonso Cuarón?
I don't know.
That's what. Yeah, good director.
Previously mentioned Porky's 3. I recently watched. Great.
But you watched it through a hole in your wall?
No, because that would have been Porky's
one. Probably.
Yeah, that was one. However, a little known fact here about Porky's the series.
Listeners, be glad you stuck around.
Yeah, this is it. This is why you stayed till the end here. What is it? Miss Butterball. What's her name?
No, just as a series, I always felt like it's weird. As a kid, I always thought those movies were older than the early 80s because of the way the cinematography was done. Yeah, it's that soft focus. And I always thought that was weird. Like, I could never figure out why it looked that way. Well, the deal is, Porky's was directed by Bob Clark. Okay? So Bob Clark, after that, wanted to make A Christmas Story. That's the movie he wanted to make. So he made a deal with the studio that he would come back and do Porky's 2. If he did that, they would let him make A Christmas Story. But if you watch those two movies, they both have that same soft glow style of cinematography in them. They're very similar in that way. So I just always thought that it made sense after I figured that out and had, kind of looked into that, but there's a relation there.
I have a question for you. What the hell are you doing watching Porky movies when you're a little kid?
That's a question you have to ask my parents. So my wife and I sat down and we watched Porky's, the original one, and the third movie not too long ago, and she had never seen either of them. She'd only seen them in the TV version, the edited, when they took out all the good parts. So she was like, she was like, I don't remember any of this. Like, I can't believe this was actually what happened in the movie. I was like, oh yeah, you missed like half the movie. So anyways, Porky's 3.
I got a few more that were mentioned on a bunch of the lists I looked at. Pirates of the Caribbean, Rocky 3, Lethal Weapon 3, Ocean's 13, right? Whatever the third one was. Mm-hmm. Hunger Games, Bourne, whatever, John Wick 3, D3, The Mighty Ducks. That was everybody's, the Mighty Ducks fans loved D3. Bad News Bears Go to Japan.
Oh, that's
at the bottom of my list.
Great one.
Beyond Thunderdome, the Mad Max third one. The Purge election year, had to get the Purge in there. That's when the Purge started becoming more political in its takes. Karate Kid Part 3, come on, you gotta go with Karate's bad boy Mike Barnes. Goldfinger, the third James Bond movie.
I think you're
stuff out there. You guys forgot.
You're forgetting one. Return of the Pink Panther. Peter Sellers returns to his famous.
Should have picked it. Sounds like you guys had plenty of other options.
The next list should be the worst prequels.
Yeah, that's always fun. All right. Well, anyway, so this was the trial run, and we did it with you two. There's different formats I'm working up here for the number of people and what we do, but I thought we've already secretly given an assignment to Jared Lowe to do a list with Jordan and I, and we are going to match you guys up with some other people, patrons,
Mm-hmm.
for some other lists. So if you get an invite to start preparing for a list, you know how it works. You do the work and get no pay. Pay us, in fact. But I thought that we'll definitely work in Jesse in here for a list. Get Justin in here. If somebody can think of one, Valerie, would like to do it. We're up for it.
Michael, you guys could do like Gilmore Girls episodes.
I knew that's exactly.
I think that would be excellent
to
match Michael up with Valerie for a list like that. That would be excellent.
Ooh.
Christy could help you.
She would have to, or we get Jared in here.
That'd be exciting. So think about what you guys want to do. I thought I've got some. I don't want to spoil here, but I've got some ideas for what these people might be interested in. And make a list. Maybe they'll be a little more passionate about the lists that I'm thinking of than just threequels that anybody could make that list. But anyway, this was the trial run here. We'll see what happens next time. But I think it was fun.
Yeah.
Without a veto, no hard feelings. Happy.
Better luck next time.
You'll turn us against each other before this is all
we got it all figured out. Yeah.
Until next time, I am the illustrious Michael K. Easton.
I am Jordan D. Lowe III.
Cliff Barnes.
I'm Seth. Bye forever. Great job, everybody. That was painless.
Ka-Pow, the pop cultured podcast, is intended for entertainment and information purposes only. Sounds, music, and clips played during the podcast are property of copyright holders. All original content is property of www.udamwithkpp.com. If you enjoyed this podcast, please subscribe and leave a comment. Ka-Pow, the pop cultured podcast, is available on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Podbean, Spotify, and wherever podcasts can be found. You can connect with us through social media on Facebook, YouTube, at the Ka-Pow Podcast on Twitter, or email the show, Ka-Pow, the pop cultured podcast, @gmail.com. If you really want to go the extra mile, please sign up to be a patron through the Podbean app or our website, www.udamwithkpp.com, to receive special content and early access to some episodes. We are grateful to anyone that chooses to contribute, but please know that most of our content will always remain free, so please continue to like, comment, and share.